Dear friends, stress and stress management. This is what I am going to say in this video. Here, totally, there are five concepts. The first one is stress. What is the meaning of stress? How we'll face this stress? The second one is stress positive, and the third one is stress negative. Fourth one is how to turn this negative stress into positive stress. And the last one is, fifth one is stress busters. Let's have a good study. I will give you a very interesting analysis because it is very quite relevant to students, professionals, employees, businessmen, and even housewives, everybody else for that matter. Let's understand what is the stress first of all. So, stress is a mental disorder, a kind of mental disorder. It will come because of over ambition generally. What is that over ambition? See, a student, he wants to study, he wants to get good marks, and on par with some other merit students, he wants to compete. Nothing wrong in it. If he is able to, okay, let him forge ahead, go ahead, nothing wrong in it. If he is not that much enough, that much talented, you should not develop over ambition. And at the same time, when there is a over ambition, automatically sometimes it will lead to expectation. Quite natural because he wanted to strive hard to achieve something with great ambition. And when it becomes a failure because between your trial, serious trial, and you, there is one hurdle, and that is twist of fate. Fate sometimes man proposes, God disposes. Sometimes our expectations will be reversed. So at that time, what will happen? We feel disappointed and frustrated. So this disappointment and frustration will lead to depression. So because of our ambitions and unable to attain to that topmost position, sometimes either in respect of student education or employees serious trials or job seekers, sometimes when they have become failure, they feel disappointed, frustrated, and always mind will be stressful. And this stress will be of two kinds. Don't think that stress is always in a negative way. Positive sense, see, stress positive is there, stress negative is also there. Stress positive means anxiety related stress. This is somewhat healthy, not unhealthy. Stress negative is unhealthy. Stress positive is that is anxiety related stress is something a healthy only. See, in work performance, when you are doing some work, completely absorbed in work. For example, student is studying well and he is writing the examination, and after having written the examination, results have come out, and in the examination he has been he is a great successful student, a strong good motivation and reinforcement. Again he, in the next examination, again he is studying well, so that tempo will be going, it goes on and on. Same is the case with the employee also. When there is some incentive, some increment that is given by the employee will be working hard with a great motivational spirit. And automatically he will show interest in job involvement and job performance. So, in the course of doing that hard work, in the course of doing that job, good performance, automatically his mind, act, body, and everything will be very much active, alert. That means both mental and physical alertness will come, discipline will come. So when the stress is anxiety related, the anxiety related means work tempo, studies tempo, businessman, he is owning, his business is going on very well, and he has been getting very good benefits, and the tempo will be going on with the stress, with the anxiety, with very much interest in the work, very much interest in the performance, and that will be he will become very active, and he will become a very disciplined also at the same time. That is good as far as that stress positive is concerned. It is healthy. But at the same time, on the contrary, there is a stress negative. In general, we'll be talking about this only. So here, in stress negative, what will happen is when the person, student or employee or businessman, when he is showing, doing his performance, sometimes he will entertain unnecessary worries. Oh, whether can I complete this work or not? Can I reach? Can I get that target or not? Can I reach the destination or not? I may be a failure sometime. So what will happen if I fail? Like that, unnecessarily, he will be entertaining some worry or some fear, unnecessary fear, heartbeat, that is palpitation, will become high. So that attention related, this negative stress is tension related, and that will lead to frustration and depression in a negative way. So stress positive and stress relate negative we have studied. And we have to here what we have to learn is we have to maintain the balance. When we are facing the stress, we have to see whether that the stress will encourage us, stimulate us, motivate us, or it will depress us. That we have to realize, and we must be very careful. And by maintaining the discipline, sorry, by maintaining the balance, well balance between this stress positive and stress negative. So here the point is how to make, sir, how to maintain the balance and how to make this negative stress into positive stress. That is the point. Yeah, why not? By all means, we can turn that negative stress into positive stress. Stress positive or stress anxiety related stress. We can make it in a favorable way, provided that we are given only two things. And there, the first one is self determination. The second one is wisdom. That's all. We must strongly determine. We have to determine. Yes, I have to complete this. I have to do this. I have the self confidence that I can forge ahead. Let us do that work. How and when? When you have the love of work. When you think that work is worship. Let us worship the work. Let us find some pleasure, satisfaction by doing that work. That is cultivating the love of work. Work culture, or we can say in management studies. A very good work culture you have to develop. And the second one is a self awareness. You have to know about yourself, about your worth, your talent, your innate talent. Everybody will have the innate talent, no doubt about it. You must realize that innate talent that prevails in you. So these are the two things, the essence of the entire Bhagavad Gita. I have studied my MSc Psychology, and at the same time I have studied my MA Philosophy also, out of curiosity, of course. You can ask anybody the entire essence of Bhagavad Gita, but just two things. The first one is work is worship, and the second one is self awareness or self realization. We can say Atmajnan. You have to know about yourself, and you must work with, treating it to be a great worship. You are working with dedication means you are worshipping God. That way you have to do. And the third way to make that negative stress into positive one is the third important quality that you have to cultivate is a very good team spirit and collective effort. Suppose a student, let's imagine, he's studying well. Sometimes he feels exhausted. And he's studying well, but sometimes he could not understand some concepts well. He has the hesitation to meet the lecturer, professor, and ask and to get the doubts clarified. That is man. So, if he has that, a good team spirit and collective effort, that means a team spirit with a very good company, definitely he will ask and get the things clarified because all students cannot go and meet the professors or lecturers for clarifications. So education will come not completely by referring to the internet or by teacher or something else. So it will come by different sources. First, of course, by your self-study, learning through the internet and all that self-study. And the second one by teacher, and the third one is by sharing your ideas, exchange of ideas with your peers. That means your classmates, deskmates, your close friends. That is one another way. So team spirit and collective effort must be there. Same is the case with the employee also. Sometimes he may not be able to perform well. Some difficulties he may be facing in the employment. You can't go and ask the boss. If you have the collective spirit and collective effort, team spirit, he will just ask and he will learn so many things from his colleagues. So that is the third way how to make that negative stress into positive one. So these are the three ways to put in brief. To put in brief, and next the last concept, that is fifth one, is very interesting one. I like it very much. That is stress busters. There are some stress busters for everything. There, where there is a will, there is a way. For every problem, for every issue, there is a solution. So there are so many stress busters. The first and foremost one is your good company. You have to develop very good company with others. Tell me your friend, I will tell you your character. English, there is a proverb in English. So you have to develop your good friendship. You must make friends with a very good person who must be able to influence you in a positive way. And the relationship between you and your friend will be like this: highly communicative and informative. Communicative means expressing oneself very clearly, openly, distinctly, very clearly, with good clarity of thought, clarity of ideas. That is communicative. And informative means, see, when you are opening your mouth or your friend is opening his mouth and speaking something, there must be something to learn, something valuable, something which you don't know earlier. You must be able to learn from that person. He has to learn something from you, and you have to learn something from. That is informative. So highly informative, communicative, and informative. That friendship must be. That's the first stress burst. And not only that, not only learning in respect of education or in respect of profession or employment or business. Not only that, you're sharing of ideas when you are depressed or frustrated. He will be consoling you. He must be in a position to console you, comfort you. You have to feel relieved of a great burden from that wonderful company. That's the first one. Trust buster, and that's what Sigmund Freud also says. Talk therapy. When you are having a very beautiful conversation, as a sweet conversation, a comfortable conversation with your friend, any friend, a lover, or family member, you feel relieved of a great burden. This is what Sigmund Freud, a great psychologist, also said. The second stress buster I would like to say is aesthetic sense you have to develop. What is that aesthetic sense? Love of the beauties of nature. Your heart must be nurtured in such a way that you must be drawn towards the beauties. There are so many beauties in the world: river, seas, estates, woods, so many things, wonderful, beautiful things in this world. You must develop that sense, aesthetic sense of beauty. John Keats, even just at the age of 21, he became topmost romantic poet in the world. John Keats, a very surprising thing. He says in one beautiful book, Gratian Norm, in that poem, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. Its loveliness increases if you have that sense of beauty, aesthetic sense. If you see one sculpture, art, definitely you find a pleasure out of it, and still that pleasure will be improving, developing, and developing. It will not stop. Just like a fountain of joy you can find in that beauty, sculpture, art, music. literature, everything. And that's why he says in another context that beauty is truth, truth, beauty. You find that truth in the beauty, and beauty in the truth. Beauty is truth, comma, truth, beauty. That's all you need to know on earth, he says. The greatest philosophy in 2 lines, he said. It's very extensive. Of course, I have just made a reference, that's all. And next buster I would like to say, the third one is love of nature. First one is sixth sense. The third one is love of nature. Another romantic poet, William Wordsworth, elderly man, he said, his sister, namely Dorothy, her husband died, and she was always in melancholic mood, always very moody, with melancholy, depression, and frustration because of the death of her husband. He asked her, "Come on, accompany me to the woods, to the estates. You see the beauties of nature, how beautiful these estates, these rocks, hills, brooks, river, and all that. You just see and enjoy it. You may be deceived by human being, but you will not be deceived by nature, the beauties of nature." He says, nature never did betray the heart that loved her. If you love the nature, nature will not deceive you. It always gives you pleasure, everlasting pleasure, fountain of joy, at least peace of mind you will get, he said. So that kind of love of nature will have to develop. That is the greatest stress buster, I can say. These are my research study by having studied both philosophy, MA philosophy, MSc psychology, and MA English literature, and interdisciplinary research work about the life force in my PhD. Okay, now coming back to the point, that is a love of work. Next one, fourth stress buster, I would like to say again, love of work. You worship your work. Just like a sculpture. You see, the sculptor, after having sculpted the beautiful sculpture, he feels very happy. Oh, this is my product. How beautiful I have carved it. One painter, an artist, after having painted a beautiful painting, an art, one mother, in her lap, a small boy, a small child, and that photo, it should reflect the love and affection of the mother towards that little boy, little girl in the lap. So through her face, everything must be her peace, her tranquility, serenity, love of the son, that little boy. Everything must be reflected on the facial expression, eyes, everything. After having painted that, presented the thought, he feels extremely, very much happy. So the singer, for example, he feels or she feels very happy after having given her wonderful performance. Suppose those songs are well applauded by the public. That singer feels very much happy. Work performance, happiness out of work performance. See, the great achievement. A writer, in the same way, writer also, teacher also. Sometimes teacher, he feels very, very happy after having presented a wonderful lecture there, delivered a wonderful lecture today. Oh, I have delivered a wonderful lecture with a wonderful analysis, and most of the students have received it very well. He thinks like that. Job satisfaction and performance, work performance, happiness out of that. So in that way, you have to love your work. So it will give you a wonderful relief from your stress. So these are the 4 or 5 stress busters which I can recommend as a psychologist, as a philosopher, and also as a man of English literature and a research scholar. But at the same time, you have to be away from just one important thing, and that is 2 important things. That's one, a rupture or conflict with others. Man is a social animal. Always will be facing some problem or the other with our fellow being. Some conflict or the other we will be facing. At that time, you have to avoid that conflict with others. The second one is argument. You should not argue in any other matter with any person for that matter. Be away from the argument and conflicting ideas with your friends or even family members for that matter. So these are the ways how we have to beat the stress, and you have to get a wonderful peace of mind and well balanced mind so that you beat that stress. This is about the stress and the management of the stress. Thank you very much for listening. And if you are really impressed, please encourage me by subscribing. Thank you.